Good morning, guys. Day 3 at Pawnee National Grasslands. I am just waking up. I've been awake for about 45 minutes. I've been out hanging out with the cows. I woke up completely surrounded by cows. I had one sitting right outside my window just staring me down for, I don't know, about 5-10 minutes. There's quite a few of them. I, kind of rushed them out of the campsite. Just so they wouldn't start chewing up some of my shit. I'm about to get me some coffee going. So I do make coffee with a coffee maker. I have a 1200 watt inverter that I just simply use a couple jumper cable attached to the inverter to the main battery. I'm always making sure it's turned off, unplugged from the battery, and, not in use when my van is not running. When my van is not running, it will drain my battery really damn quick. My routine, I got my coffee maker, got my coffee. Yeah, just simple coffee maker. It's a 6-cup coffee maker, and easy to clean, easy to use. So I just get the cup, stick that back in there. Coffee is one of those things I always keep very readily available. I used to pack them in Ziploc bags. I would, just have them all set. I used to use a hot pot to heat my water. I used to use a coffee press to make my coffee. I switched it up to a coffee maker. A hot pot and the coffee press was just too much of a hassle. I went through 3 of them each in the course of a year and a half. Now I've been doing this 2 years, so the coffee maker has been, it's great for me. It works great. It kills my battery, like I said. But it saves me going to the gas station and spending $1-2 every time I want a cup of coffee. I spend $6-7 on, the coffee I get. Refills on water usually cost me 40 cents for a gallon. I'm officially out of water. I only came up with 2 gallons of water for 3 days. Now I can easily go through 5 or 6 gallons in a week of water, just drinking and coffee and, small cleanups here and there. But I only came up for the weekend 3 days, 2 gallons of water, and I used one of those bottles for showering. So yeah, drinkable water, I didn't have a whole lot. I did not come prepared. I got, 5-6 of those empty 2-gallon jugs. They're all empty right now, but I usually fill those, stock those, and have them at hand. Plus, I have a 5-gallon in the back. That's what I usually use for my wash water, but that wasn't filled up. I didn't prepare for this. I just woke up, and hit the road. That's... I stopped at a Walmart the night before I came out here, and I grabbed a gallon of water and a few things that I would need, but I didn't really plan for all this. I planned to come stay one night, spend 2 days here, but ended up into 2 nights. Stayed. This is my 3rd morning that I'm here, and I'll be heading out probably pretty soon. But I'm going to show you real quick the coffee process. So basically, I got my inverter up here. 1200 watt inverter. It is jumper cabled. I should hardwire it, and put it down under the dash inside. But I like to disconnect the damn thing and move it around. And, it's easier this way. It's not the most stable of power from the battery to the inverter, but it works. I have my coffee maker down here. It's moving around constantly. Everything is very disorganized right now. I got rid of some stuff and threw some stuff in the place where the other stuff was, and it's just not organized. It's all over the place. So I got my coffee, I filled it with water, process, I'll make sure I start my van, but, I just flip on the inverter. And usually it should have a green light when it's go. I have it very loose right now because of the bumpy road on the way up here. So I plug it in, make sure the light is green. Turn it on, and I got my coffee. So I just hit start, but it will scream at me when there's not enough energy. So that's when I gotta get my van started. Okay, so I got it all plugged in. Turn it on. Usually I don't have anything else plugged in, any lights turned on, because it will drain my battery faster than it charges. The only way I can keep it going is if it starts running low, I hit the gas, and just, and I keep doing that. I never really have to drive around doing it, but maybe one of these days I will. I mean, I've driven making a pot of coffee, but it's a little sketchy. Things slosh around. So I think all the cows finally dispersed. They went off into the fields there. Like I said, I woke up this morning and I was completely surrounded. They were everywhere. I got into my front seat and, I rolled down my window and I didn't even look out my window. I, just kind of put my keys in the ignition and hit the button and then crawled into the front seat. And I look up and 2 feet, it's about 3 feet away from my face is another cow just staring at me. I'm like, well, hello there, you're a pretty fella. She just sat there staring at me for like 5 minutes, right in the window. I mean, literally her nose was 3 inches from the window and the window was rolled down. I was like, yeah, it was definitely an interesting way to wake up. I wanted to wake up and get a sunrise, and video record the sunrise. I haven't been getting much for sunsets on the video out here. I mean, my first night I should have done the, what do they call it, the time lapse, the hyper lapse on my phone for the sunset, because that's when the storm was rolling through. I got caught in the storm. I got back as the storm was rolling over me, and within a few hours the storm had dispersed and the sun came out, and it was just gorgeous, gorgeous lighting, gorgeous sunset. I have some video of it, but it was a gorgeous sunset. I should have done a time lapse of that, but I did not. I tried to do it last night. I spent about an hour and a half recording, and I wasn't really impressed with it. I was about to go do some dancing and walking around in front of the camera to, spice it up a little bit, but I had my I had already sat down. I built my campfire. I just wanted to sit back and relax, watch the stars come up, and there was, in the city, you don't see stars. A little sprinkling here and there. I was out there last night, and it was just like stars. You could see literally the Milky Way. I rarely ever see that, but you could see the full arch of it. It was just amazing. I was like, wow. So I guess today I'll be heading back to Denver, get me some laundry in, just hit the laundromat, and maybe I'll do some video editing and see what I can come up with here for the Pawnee National Grasslands. It's really bright out here. I'm like really squinty on this. Got my coffee is about done. So yeah, standard brew time with a standard coffee maker. Using just a little bit different from standard energy. So technically this is being off the grid. I don't use electricity except for what I produce in my vehicle. And that's what the grid is, the energy grid. You know, a lot of people try to, you know, go all natural, solar lighting and all that kind of stuff, and I think it's the way to go. And we don't owe no corporations or banks money for us producing our own energy. I mean, why should we pay for breathing the frickin' air? You know, don't be surprised that they start charging that. You'll move to a clean city and they'll have a clean air tax or a clean air, you know. Inverter starts screaming at me. I'm telling you. Yeah, I don't agree with paying for things that are free. I mean, like the camping, the boondocking. You know, why should I pay for being here? You know, I'm not wrecking anything. I'm respectful. I clean up my messes. Pack it in, pack it out every time. You see trash. If it's not your trash and you walk into a campground and there's trash, pick the trash up. You know, don't be an asshole because some other asshole decided that they're going to leave their trash. Well, they do. I'll just leave it too. No. That's why things no longer become free. You know, I'm hearing a lot of rumors of BLM lands talking about saying done. People going in and trashing the shit. I mean, if you're gonna go camp on BLM land, you gotta respect it. That is everybody's land. I mean, you don't want somebody coming into your sticks and bricks backyard, setting up a campground and leaving all their trash. No. Neighbor doesn't want to look over the fence and see that trash either, right? HOAs come down on you. You know, come out into the middle of, you know, beautiful land and respect it. Respect it like the HOAs are sitting down, breathing down your neck, okay? You know, and people, they fine you if you do that. People just don't get caught doing that. I mean, out here, if there's a ranger station, I'm not sure where it is. I haven't seen any kind of rangers or, you know, USDA or anything coming around. I mean, this is all agricultural land. I mean, I've seen nobody. I've seen a handful of hikers come out here to go hike the trailhead to the Pawnee Buttes. You know, you go up into the mountains, you meet your camp hosts, your rangers, and, you know, they're out and about. They're paying attention. They are checking in on things. Colorado especially. I mean, Colorado is a desert. It is hot here. It's dry here. You know, it takes a spark and you got a fire. And it's never a little fire. I mean, it's hundreds of acres, thousands of acres go up in flames. So, I mean, you just gotta, wherever you go camping, you gotta respect it. I mean, you can't go in with the mindset, it's like, you know, I don't live here, I don't own this isn't mine. Well, BLM land, fortunately, it is yours. It is mine too, and I like it left that way. This is not BLM land. National forests, national grasslands, stuff like that, you can camp free. You can freely camp, dispersed, you know, certain regulations. In these grasslands, the regulations is 200 feet off a trail, 200 feet away from any water sources. Simple as that. You know, and just have common knowledge. If you're building a fire, clear some space around it. You know, if it's highly windy and you're building a fire, expect that there's going to be problems. You know, I always build my fire rings pretty high and pretty deep. I don't want to be responsible for starting a fire. If something ever did get out of control, you damned right I'd be reporting that real quick. Even if it got me into trouble, you know, I would be like, hey, you know, this land is not going up into fire, because I'm not going to step up. I'm not going to man up and be like, hey, I was responsible. People go to prison for that shit. People walk away with tens of thousands of dollars of fines because they set some land on fire, being irresponsible. You know, I try to be prepared. You know, I didn't come prepared with like water or anything like that. I do have a fire extinguisher. Not that I would bet my life on a little fire extinguisher out here. I'd probably just spread it around. But I pay attention. I don't leave my fires, you know, going. I made sure my fire was out last night. I mean, there was a little bit of smoldering in there, but it was right outside of my van. No sparks, no nothing. We were good. Alright, so I got my coffee made. I don't do a lot of refrigeration in here just because ice costs money and it just becomes a hassle. I bought, you know, some food I brought up here and I stuck it in the bottom of the ice like an idiot, wrapped up in a plastic bag. And what I had in the bag had holes in the container to air, and the bag had a hole in it, so water seeped in and soaked everything. So I mean, that's one day's worth of, you know, food, lunch and breakfast that I didn't get to eat just because it went to crap. I didn't pack it right. It was real quick. But you know, I got plenty of food stocked in here, and you know, this is my home. I carry food, you know, just like your kitchen cabinets will have some food in it. Might not be your everyday regular meals, but it's going to be the backup crap that you can, you know, throw to a stove and say, hey, not going hungry tonight. So, since there's no refrigeration, I always have my dehydrated creamer. I like cinnamon, so I got a cinnamon French toast. It's interesting flavor. I like it. Pot of coffee. I figured that's all the water I had left. I would just use it all, which was just a little much. I got literally made about 5 cups, and this holds about 3.5 to 4 cups. I just reuse coffee cups over and over. I used to buy thermos. I used to buy plastic coffee cups. They get trashed. Things in a van are different. I'm gonna share this because I know a lot of people will relate. Okay, sitting in a vehicle, things break. I'm speaking of perspective of stoners. We smoke. We use glass pieces. Sitting in the seats, we'll put it in our laps, we'll get up and step out and shatter on the concrete, shatter on the asphalt, you know, whatever. It happens. Well, there's no exception when it comes to coffee mugs or thermos. You should have seen the first thermo I started with in this van. That thing looked like it went through a minefield. I dropped that thing more times than I knew. All right, I can't even count. It was funny. I've had that thing roll across parking lots, bounce across parking lots, fling up under under the van, you know, bouncing over curves. Shit. It's one of those things. You're in a sitting position, tight space. You tend to sit things in your lap and forget about them. Things break. So I stopped getting coffee mugs and all that kind of stuff, because the plastic ones I've cracked, broken several times. The metal thermos just look like they went through a war zone. So yeah, things do fall, they break, they just get damaged when you're in a van. I stuck with the paper coffee cup just simply because, you know, it's replaceable. It lasts me a week, 2 weeks. I wash it out, remake my coffee in it, wash it out. It's almost done though. I'll have to replace it, because after a while it soaks up the liquid and starts getting the seams to break, and mine is starting to fold in there a little bit. Oh yeah. So that's how I do my coffee in a van. I turn my coffee off, turn my inverter off, make sure it's unplugged, and I no longer have to run my van. I can't imagine life without coffee.